Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive doubleheader basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. Tonight in the second game of our doubleheader, the men's basketball team will take on Medgar College following the Lady Dolphins' 83-41 victory here earlier this evening. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski, joined once again by Arthur Kapitanakis. And Arthur, the CSI women's basketball team had no trouble with Medgar here in game number one, pulling out to a 29-0 lead in the first quarter and cruising into victory. But it's been a bit different story lately with this men's basketball team. They were cruising on all cylinders, but now all of a sudden find themselves coming into today's game having lost two conference games in a row and finding themselves in a huge game here tonight against a very tough, very athletic Medgar Cougars team.
Yeah, this should be a good one today. Obviously, the men got off to a 9-1 start, really exceeded expectations under first-year head coach TJ Tibbs, but a couple of back-to-back conference losses to Baruch and York College here at the tank have set the Dolphins back to 9-3, and this will really be a big game and a big test to see if they can stop that streak and get back to winning ways.
And, Arthur, you look at the CSI men's basketball team, and, they struggled with their offense earlier in the season, but in their winning streak, they had put together point totals of 94, 89, 89, 99, 76, and 84. But you go and you look at these last two games, just 71 and 67 points. And for those of you who followed the CSI Dolphins and listened to my longtime broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, 75, a big number for this men's basketball team, and they haven't been able to get to it in their last few games.
Yeah, it hasn't been quite that free-flowing offense that we got a little bit spoiled by earlier on in the season. Not hitting some open shots, not moving the ball quite as well as they may have done in the past. So definitely a few things to work on, but it's a long season, at 16 games. So you can't expect to be rolling with your A game for the entirety of that 16-game stretch. So a little blip here with the two losses to Baruch and to York, but if the Dolphins can come out here and correct that, and then it will be just a blip. But should that bleed into today and to the rest of the schedule, then we could be looking at a larger problem.
Yeah, and Arthur, you had mentioned during the broadcast in the game against York on Saturday the number of loose balls and 50-50 balls that the Cardinals were able to get their hands on, and that was really something that helped turn the game around. And in both the two Dolphin losses, their two consecutive losses as of late against Baruch and against York College, Dolphins also having trouble scoring in the later stages of the second half.
Yeah, and in both of those contests, while they had early leads for the majority of the game, most of that first half and the entirety of the second half on both occasions, the Dolphins were playing catch-up. And that kind of creates a little bit of a sense of urgency or a little bit of nervousness on the offensive side, and it's not quite as free-flowing as when you're ahead and trying to expand the lead. So that's a spot where the Dolphins can look to clean things up and hopefully stay a little bit ahead on the scoreboard and put that scoreboard pressure on their opponents as opposed to having to deal with it themselves. So we mentioned the earlier game, the women's team with the big victory, 83-41. A quick look at the Dolphins, the men's schedule. This previous game was 94-63 for the men, but that most certainly does not tell the whole story. That's a contest that was 32-28 for the Dolphins at half. And speaking to Coach Tibbs at a little bit before the game here, he was saying in that second half the Dolphins could have shot the ball anywhere. They said they could have kicked it in. They were making every shot. 64% from the field, 6 out of 10 from three. So they were really on fire offensively, and that just kind of avalanched in their favor. But like you saw with York, York, a team that's not the highest in the standings and doesn't have too many wins coming in. But this Medgar team, if they're playing well, can certainly get the win tonight.
Yeah, and one of the things that the Cardinals did extremely well against the Dolphins on Saturday was they really came out and came out with a defensive mindset, Arthur. And that was one of the keys for the Cardinals because even when the Dolphins held the lead, they were never able to pull out too far in front, and the Cardinals really brought it with their defensive intensity, and it really showed up in the amount of offensive rebounds they were able to gather and able to get a lot of 50-50 balls out on the floor.
Yeah, that was the key just from here watching on the sideline. So many balls, those rebounds that end up on the ground, you've got to be the first to those balls, and for the large majority of that game, the Dolphins were not. The Cardinals were the first ones on the floor, and even if they didn't pull the rebound down at first attempt, they would get it as the ball batted around, creating a lot of second opportunities and forcing the Dolphins to work really hard on defense. So today they've really got to focus on getting stops and ending the stops with a strong rebound.
And as we get deeper and deeper into the conference, and we get ready for the start of today's game, maybe we can take a look at the conference standings right now. And as we look at those standings, the Dolphins were cruising along at 9-1. Arthur, all of a sudden now find themselves 9-3, tied for Baruch for that second position that could draw a bye, and a huge game for the Dolphins here today. Medgar coming in at 3-8, but don't let that record fool you. Dolphins need to come out on all cylinders here tonight, Arthur, against this very talented Cougar team.
Yeah, and you can see Medgar has no room to play with here. They need some wins. They need them quickly to get into that playoff picture and surpass John Jay for that sixth and final spot. CSI, in the meantime, they have plenty to play for themselves. Obviously, Lehman is still within touching distance, but also looking down, you want to try to make sure you keep Baruch behind you so you can get that first round bye. So a lot to play for both teams. CSI with a little bit of room for error because they pretty much locked up a playoff spot at this point, so they're not quite fighting for their lives as Medgar is. But CSI still plenty to play for tonight.
Boy, there certainly is, Arthur, because the last thing you want to do is have to play in one of these quarterfinal games. And, we've now seen all of the teams that are in the CUNYAC Conference this year. And, the Brooklyn, John Jay, Hunter, we know there's no easy games among them. And you certainly don't want to put yourself in a position to have to play in that quarterfinal round before advancing to the Nat Holman Gymnasium. So a huge game for the Dolphins here this afternoon. Like the ladies team, the Dolphins come into tonight's game, 4 games left. They're going to play here tonight, then play a home game against Hunter, and then finish with 2 really tough games on the road, including finishing the season against Lehman College. So for the Dolphins to put themselves in a good position to secure a bye, this is almost a must-win, Arthur.
Yeah, if they're looking for the bye and they want to put any pressure on Baruch, this is definitely a must-win for them, and I'm sure that's how the coaching staff will be presenting this game to the team, because they don't want to mess around. And when you have 2 losses, a sign of a good team is you take a loss, you work on things, and you come back strong. So first time around, they weren't able to turn it around, but 2 straight losses. It's really important to come today and show what you got and turn things around and show your mettle and your worth as a good team. And that 9-1 start wasn't a fluke, but what we should expect from here on out.
So we're going to step aside. We're going to take our first break of the pregame show. Then we'll be back to take a look at the Medgar Cougars and get you ready for the start of tonight's game as you're watching CUNYAC men's basketball coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me
And me.
help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. Why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. Why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of tonight's second game of our doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and the Medgar Evers Cougars. And, you know, Arthur, you look at this Cougar team, they're coming in with a record of 3-8, and, you know, York College also came in with just 3 conference wins on the year, but were able to come out and play a really effective conference road game and come away with a victory. What are the Cougars going to look to do here tonight against the Dolphins?
So it should be an interesting game. The Cougars have a minus 9.5 point differential on average, giving up an average of 82, just over 82 points per game, while scoring 73 of their own. They look to put a lot of pressure on their opponents, getting almost 8 steals per game. But on the offensive side, with turnovers, 16.3 per game. So that's a number that the Dolphins are going to try to look to exploit and push that a little bit higher. Actually, interestingly enough, they create 16.3 turnovers per game, and they commit 16.3 turnovers per game. So averaging out right about even. Today, the Dolphins are going to look to put that in their favor, creating more turnovers than they commit themselves.
And you look at this Cougar team led by senior Maurice Swaby and their junior guard, Justin Sutton. A couple of very quality, very good CUNYAC players, Arthur.
Yeah, so Swaby, the 5'9 senior, averages 21 points per game. Sutton, a 6'2 junior, with 17 points per game. In the previous game, the Dolphins did a great job on Swaby, keeping him to just 7 points. So if they can limit him once again, that the senior leader of this team, they will be in great shape at the tank.
And, you know, Arthur, we mentioned a little bit in the pregame show that the Dolphins struggling a little bit, coming in on a 2-game losing streak. And, you know, as a coach, what do you tell players? You're cruising along, you're riding high, you're on a big winning streak, you only have 1 conference loss, and then all of a sudden within a 3-day period you lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, it happens, and it's all about the ups and downs of the season. You never want to get too high, never want to get too low, but you're going to have your doubts. You're going to be excited. These things happen. As a tennis coach, I'll give you the example. Roger Federer won the Australian Open this weekend, and in the post-match conference, he said, I was so nervous out there. I thought I had it won. Then I thought I was finished. So these things happen over the course of a game, over the course of a season, and it's up to a coaching staff to really try to keep their guys in check and keep them with the calm head so they can prevail here. Looking at Medgar Evers, some interesting stats on them. Their 3 wins, one of them actually came over Baruch, 69-65 at home in early January. A Baruch team that was here just about a week and a half ago at the tank, beating the Dolphins. So definitely nothing to look past here in the Cougars. Excuse me. And in addition to that, that 4-point win, their other 2 wins have came over CCNY and York, both 2-point victories. So if this one goes down to the wire and is tight at the end, these Cougars are very comfortable in those tight games.
So the CSI Dolphins will get ready for the opening tip here against Medgar Evers. The Dolphins now have 3 conference losses on the season, find themselves 2 games behind Lehman. So for any chance to repeat as regular season champions, they'll have to absolutely win today. And we have the Medgar Evers Cougars getting introduced out on the floor. So here with the players getting introduced on the floor, let's bring you the starting lineups for today's game. And here to bring you the starters, my broadcast partner, Arthur Kapitanakis. Arthur?
All right, so for the Cougars, as you see getting introduced on your screen now, Number 2, a senior guard, Maurice Swaby. Number 3, a junior guard, Justin Sutton. Number 12, a sophomore forward center, Japhett Thomas. Number 15, a 6-foot sophomore guard, Giancarlo Bonija. And finally, number 33, freshman forward, Bashru Kamara. And that'll do it for the Cougars, getting ready for tonight's game, looking for their 4th win on the season. And as we turn it over to your CSI Dolphins, it's a starting lineup you've become familiar with. At forward, number 2, Adeola Latunji. Number 23, guard Christian Taylor. Number 30, guard Ray Savage. Number 3, a guard Edin Bracic. And rounding things out at forward, number 31, Robert Rossiter.
And Arthur, the CSI Dolphins coming into today's game 11-9, 9-3 overall. They had gone on a winning streak before dropping their last 2 conference games, and Medgar Evers coming in with a 5-14 record, 3-8 overall in the conference. But you know, Medgar Evers with the ability to play with the Dolphins out on the road, and you know, Arthur, we're just moments away from the start of today's game. What are your keys for the Dolphins to get back on the winning ways here today?
First key is you need to have the appropriate fear for this Cougars team, and that's a Greg Popovich quote. 30-point victory is one thing, but this is a new game. This is a team that's beat Baruch, and that was playing you very tough for one half at their home gym. So have the appropriate fear for what is a very good Medgar Evers team. Number 2, play with the lead. We talked about in the pregame how the previous 2 games against York and Baruch, the Dolphins fell behind midway through the first half, and were playing catch-up the entire game, not able to get over that hump, which really taxes you mentally and physically throughout the game. So if they can get ahead early and keep a lead, put some scoreboard pressure on their opponents, that will put them in good stead. And finally, unfortunately, foul trouble has plagued the Dolphins of late, particularly Rob Rossiter in the past few games, and in the previous game against York, Adeola Latunji spent some time on the bench in foul trouble. So if they can limit those, keep their starters and their big players on the floor, keep the Cougars off the line, they'll be in good shape and should be able to get the win in a very important CUNYAC match today.
Yeah, it most certainly is. Both teams need this game for different reasons. The Cougars trying to get themselves back into an opportunity to play in the CUNYAC Conference Tournament. The Dolphins trying to get back on the winning track and stabilize themselves at 3 losses with 3 tough games remaining down the stretch. So it's going to be the Dolphins and the Cougars here tonight as both teams come out onto the floor. Adeola Latunji will jump here for the Dolphins. He will jump against Japhett Thomas, and we're underway, and the Cougars will have the first possession here tonight. Sutton hands off to Swaby. Swaby with the basketball, kicking the ball out, and the Cougars turn the ball over. Quick turnover here for the Cougars. First half action, York leading Hunter 30-25. So Cardinals continue to play well. They looked very good in the game against the Dolphins here on Saturday. Rossiter with the basketball, working his way inside. That shot is no good. The rebound, fight for possession as Kamara and Rossiter fight for possession, and the ball will remain with the Dolphins with 29 to shoot.
Yeah, good intensity from both sides. Just 30 seconds into the game, we already have our first tussle and tie-up.
Both teams with a lot on the line here tonight, and that happens when you get into the end of January. We're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play 32 seconds before our first foul of the evening. So Kamal will pick up the personal. It'll be his first, and the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. Rossiter gets the ball out over to Savage, and now the Dolphins with an opportunity to set up offensively. Rossiter puts up the three-pointer and buries it. Good start for Rossiter.
Yeah, that's a great shot with the hand in the face from Thomas over the outstretched arms of Thomas, and a good start for the Dolphins on the board early.
And a quick timeout taken out on the floor. So it'll be a 30-second timeout. Interesting timeout taken here early in the game.
Yeah, I guess not happy with something on the defensive end there, but it was pretty good defense on the shot, so I can't be concerned with the contest there. Maybe something else he saw down low.
Yeah, I'm not sure that wasn't TJ Tibbs that took that timeout. At least that's what it shows on the scoreboard. Interesting call there, Arthur.
Yeah, interesting. I know he was yelling at Christian Taylor, who was out of position on the inbound, so maybe he just wants to remind the team to stay sharp and make sure they're doing the little things right early on here.
So it's going to be the Cougars now to inbound the basketball, trailing by a score of 3-0. As Kamara charging the ball up through the midcourt line, takes it all the way to the basket, misses the shot, but there to grab the rebound is Thomas. He can't hit the layup, but he draws the foul. And, you know, Arthur, that was something that plagued the Dolphins all game long against York College. They could not rebound the ball on the defensive glass.
Yeah, and that pressure from the Dolphins was broken pretty quickly. The Cougars were attacking at speed. The Dolphins not quite set, so maybe that has something to do with the positioning for the rebound. Nonetheless, Thomas to the line trying to get the Cougars on the board.
So he'll have another free throw here upcoming, and his second is up and in, so he splits the pair, and it's a 3-1 game. Cougars looking to trap in the backcourt. Now it's Bracic. He lobs it inside to Rossiter. Rossiter's cross-court pass, but nothing but black jerseys there as Swaby comes away with the basketball. And coming up and backing the shot up and in is Sutton, and we're tied at 3. Latunji with the basketball. Latunji looking to work his way inside. Misses the layup, and the rebound will be grabbed by Swaby. Now in the corner, the open three-pointer that time is up and no good by Bonilla. And here comes Latunji.
Both teams playing fast, getting up and down the floor, and a lot of pressure on both sides.
Savage puts up the three-pointer. That's no good, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball, and this time the possession arrow will go to the Cardinals.
And once again, the Dolphins look to press full court. Last time it ended up in a Medgar's fast break.
So the Cougars now with the basketball as they bring the ball across the midcourt line, and now it's going to be Sutton with the ball. Sutton cross-court pass, gets the ball up over to Swaby, guarded by Savage. Swaby working the ball up over to Kamara. Kamara working his way inside and lays it up and in. Nice move by Swaby. Cougars have scored the last 5 to take a 5-3 lead.
Yeah, good work getting to the rim across the court there. Dolphins break the pressure pretty well, and an open look for Rossiter.
So Rossiter now with all 5 Dolphin points, and that ties the game up at 5.
So the press not really working too well for either team. It's leading to a lot of fast breaks the other way.
Sutton with the basketball. Now it's Swaby. Swaby feeding the ball inside, and now it's Kamara. Kamara kicking the ball back up over to the corner, but we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on the play. And if that's on Kamara, that's going to be his second. And it is. So he's going to have to come out of the game early, and Hassan Jones will come in to replace him.
Yeah, nice move by Latunji there, sliding over to take the charge on the baseline.
So the freshman Kamara has to go to the bench with 2 quick personals, and now it'll be Savage with the basketball. And now we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on the Dolphins.
And that's 2 for Bracic now. He'll take a seat.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned Arthur to stay out of foul trouble, and Dolphins have been finding themselves in foul trouble for the last couple of games, and Stephen Flagg checking in for the Dolphins, and Stephen's really had his foul troubles in the last couple of games as well, Arthur.
Yeah, he's been a lot of time on the bench, but he's got a fresh start here today, so let's see if he can keep himself out of trouble.
So 5 personal fouls here through the first 2.5 minutes of the game this afternoon. So the ball will be brought up the floor now by Bonilla. Bonilla looking to work against Taylor. Pass inside is going to be knocked out of bounds, but it'll remain Cougar basketball. Just underway, 5-5 to score. Dolphins looking to break their 2-game conference losing streak. Good defense there by Latunji, but able to get the ball into Jones. And now it'll be Sutton setting up the offense. Bounce pass over to Bonilla, 10 seconds to shoot. Gets the ball up over to Thomas. Thomas able to drive inside. Nice defensive play that time by Jade Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer recovering well there to help out his teammate down low.
As that ball gets into Taylor, that shot's no good. Spencer misses the wide open layup. Now Taylor with the putback. That's no good. Taylor once again. The Dolphins missing 4 shots in a row.
Yeah, rough sequence there for the Dolphins, but you got to like the fight and the hustle down low.
Swaby working the ball in the corner now to Bonilla. Bonilla pulls up and hits the jumper. So the Cougars now take a 7-5 lead. Savage with the basketball now. Cougars looking to trap. You see the early shooting. Dolphins just 2 of 9, make that 2 of 10, but they're able to grab another offensive rebound.
Yeah, getting plenty of looks, plenty of good looks. Just not able to sink them, and now careless turnover gives it right back.
Yeah, the Dolphins not off to a good start here so far this afternoon. So Dolphins trail by a score of 7-5, and we're going to have a whistle on the play and a timeout taken out on the floor. This will be a timeout taken by the Cougars. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so why don't we keep it right here, Arthur?
Yeah, so an interesting start, a lot of end-to-end stuff, a lot of pressure off of both sides. Dolphins, as we saw, getting plenty of looks at the hoop, not quite able to sink anything. And fouls, the early story here with Kamara of the Cougars on the bench with 2. And for the Dolphins, it was Bracic with 2 fouls of his own.
Yeah, so a couple of quick personal fouls, and the Dolphins find themselves trailing 7-5, and Dolphins turning the ball over here a little bit to start the game. 4 turnovers already for the Dolphins, Arthur, and the Dolphins shooting just 2 of 10 from the field, so not the start that CSI was looking for here tonight.
Yeah, definitely not on that end, but the positive for the Dolphins, 8 rebounds already, 6 offensive, so they have sorted that out. They're really fighting down low on the board, just got to take care of the ball.
So it'll be the Cougars with the basketball now and a 2-point lead as they bring the ball up across the midcourt line, and they get the ball up over to Swaby. Swaby feeding the ball up over to Jones. Now Jones looking to work it inside to Thomas. Thomas, a nice spin move inside and laying it up and in. And, you know, we saw that the Cardinals dominate with points in the paint, and looks like Medgar Evers is going to try to attack the Dolphins defensively as Stephen Flagg will commit the turnover.
Yeah, and Coach Tibbs looks to sophomore forward Jade Spencer to do a lot of the dirty work inside against those bigger players. That time he could not get the better of Thomas down low.
4-2 early in the points in the paint. Cougars in the lead. They have the basketball leading 9-5. They're on a 9-2 run after the Dolphins open the game with a 3-0 lead.
And Spencer again down low on Thomas.
Fed inside to Thomas. Thomas working his way inside and just lays it up and in. And, you know, those last 2 baskets, he just took it right at Jade Spencer for the layup.
Yeah, and Flagg tried to help out, but it was a little late on the rotation. Couldn't stop the layup.
As Flagg drives to the basket, he's hasn't been able to score many points for the Dolphins lately, and now we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball, so the possession arrow will remain for the Dolphins, but the Dolphins just hitting 2 out of their first 11 shots here tonight. Flagg with the basketball gets the ball out over to Latunji. Latunji working his way inside. His shot is blocked, but he'll draw the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, good aggressive move there from Latunji, who leads the Dolphins with 16 points per game, as well as with rebounds. He leads with 6 points per game. So look for him to really try to spark the Dolphins here as they're in an early hole.
So Latunji goes to the free throw line to shoot 2, trying to break this 11-3, 11-2 Cougar run, and he does. He hits the first, and that's going to make it an 11-6 game. First points of the game for Adiola. He'll have 1 more free throw upcoming. As he hits the second. For the Dolphins to be successful, Arthur, they really need points out of Latunji.
Yeah, I mean, he's their leading scorer, and if your leading scorer is not able to give you that punch, it's going to be tough. So look for him and, of course, Taylor, the second leading scorer, to do a lot of the hard work on the offensive end today.
As that time, the Cougars just were going to throw the ball out of bounds, and Taylor went up, but couldn't hang on to it. So a bit of a break for Medgar Evers, and it'll be Cougar basketball with 17 to shoot. Bounce pass goes inside on the play that time to Waters. He misses the shot, and here comes Savage with the basketball. Latunji, the baseline jumper, in and out.
good look from Savage there. Just unlucky not to get that one to fall.
Now Bonilla is going to draw a foul 30 feet from the basket. And that foul is going to be on Christian Taylor. And for Taylor, that's going to be his first. And that's going to be the fourth team foul already for the Dolphins. So the Cougars will inbound the basketball as Ray Savage will come to the bench. And Rigo Destime will check into the game for the Dolphins. Cougars looking for somewhere to go with the basketball, and they get the ball up over to Walters. And now it'll be Sutton. Sutton looking to work against it. Latunji. Sutton pulls up and hits the jumper. Nice play that time by Sutton. He used the screen and hit the open jumper.
Yeah, good use of the screen. Latunji's still able to contest, but a nice jumper over the outstretched arms.
Dolphins find themselves trailing 13-7 as Latunji goes hard to the floor and draws the foul, and hopefully he's okay as he went down hard on the play.
Yeah, he went way up for that one and was kind of spun around in the air. Went down hard, but luckily he's back up at the line. Looks like he'll be all right here.
And now Hassan Jones is going to pick up his second personal. So both Jones and Kamara with 2 early personals here for the Cougars. 8 personal fouls here in the early going for both teams. As Latunji hits the first, he's now 3 of 3 from the line, and he'll have 1 more.
Yeah, all of his 3 points so far coming from the line as we get a look at that high-flying play here.
Yes, that was a dangerous play. Is that time Jones kind of bent backwards and Latunji kind of flew right over him. Fortunate, no damage done on the play. Adiola hits 1 of 2, and the Cougars have the basketball and a 5-point lead. Sutton looking to work against Latunji. Sutton calling out Walters to set a pick. Sutton picks up the dribble, works the ball in the corner. The ball's going to be knocked away by Latunji. He can't keep it in play.
Nice athletic play going up for that one. Just ran out of room on the sideline.
I'm sorry, that was Destime as we have a update at Hunter. Hunter doing a nice job cutting the York lead to 8 at the half. So we're at halftime as that long 2-pointer that time by Swaby is up no good, and Spencer grabs the rebound. Now Flagg with the basketball. Flagg driving down the lane. His shot is up no good. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Cougar basketball. And Flagg starting out offensively 0 of 2 and a turnover, and he's had a couple of 20-point games, Arthur, for the Dolphins, but his offensive numbers have gone down the last few games.
Yeah, he's been a little hit or miss. A couple of games he's really been the focal point of the offense. Lately not quite as effective.
Now Walters pull up from the free throw line extended is good, so once again the Cougars open their lead back up to 7.
Yeah, so an early hole. We talked about the importance of the Dolphins getting ahead early.
As Taylor drives down the lane and draws the offensive foul, and Dolphins in foul trouble once again, Arthur. That's going to be the second foul on Christian Taylor.
Yeah, that definitely a 50-50 call there, but Taylor does not get the benefit of the doubt. He was a little bit out of control on the drive, I guess, in the referee's view. So he's whistled for his second.
And I thought that was an offensive foul. Baruch leading Lehman 14-12, so a good early start for the Baruch team as they lead by 2 early in the first half. Cougars jumper in the corner is up no good, and the rebound is going to be grabbed by Destime. Rigo getting the ball out over to Flagg. Flagg hands the ball off to Latunji. His pull-up jumper is up no good. So Latunji's put 2 in and out here so far in this first half.
Yeah, he had to get his first field goal on 3 attempts.
Swaby getting the ball up over to Bonilla. His shot is up no good, and Savage grabs the rebound now for the Dolphins. Dolphins just 2 of 14 from the field. Flagg, long cross pass over to Savage. Now it's going to be the baseline jumper. It's up no good by Spencer. Destime's putback is no good, and the Dolphin offensive woes continue.
Yeah, and the 6'6" Thomas really making his presence felt on both ends early in this game.
Savage goes for the steal, and now Sutton pulls up and hits the jumper, and the Cougars now have their biggest lead of the game as they're on an 18-4 run, and they take a 17-8 lead with 11:59 remaining, and Dolphin struggles continue, Arthur, really from the second half on Saturday so far through the first half here today.
Yeah, but I think you got to give some credit to Medgar here. They're making some tough shots on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, really making the Dolphins work for everything they're going to get. The shooting, 8 of 15, so they're above 50% are the Cougars, even though they're 0 for 3 from three-point land.
So the Dolphins with the basketball is now Savage is going to get called for the travel, and Dolphins with 8 turnovers now, Arthur, really not doing a good job protecting the basketball. You see it up on your screen. 8-2 in the turnovers, and both Brocic and Taylor on the bench with 2 personals.
Yeah, and those 8 turnovers coming in just over 8 minutes, so not the way you wanted to start it out.
So it's Medgar with the basketball, and the Dolphins trailing by a score of 17-8. Spalding hands the ball off now. It's Swaby. Swaby's jumper is up, no good, and Rossiter goes up and grabs the rebound. Rossiter has 5 of the 8 Dolphin points here tonight. Now Rossiter working his way inside. His layup is up, no good, and the Cougars continue to play strong defense, contesting every Dolphin shot.
Yeah, again, it's Thomas altering the shot at the rim, forcing the miss, and coming down with the rebound.
Swaby with the basketball. Now they work the ball up over to Walters. Walters, a tough jumper, is up no good. Latunji grabs the rebound, and now it's Destine with the basketball. Destine up over to Flag. Flag, the long three-pointer is up no good. And the Dolphins' struggles offensively continue here in the first half.
Yeah, that was an NBA range 3, and when you're down 9 early, you might want to try to take it to the cup, get something a little bit more high percentage.
Now it's going to be worked over to Thomas. Now in the corner now to Swaby. Swaby tries to feed it inside, but we're going to have a foul on Rossiter as the Dolphins pick up their 6th personal. And Dolphins just committing a lot of fouls once again here in this first half. Now have 6, so they'll be in the penalty with the next foul.
Yeah, fortunately for Rossiter, only his first. He's frequently in foul trouble, so he'll need to keep that at 1.
Cougars with the basketball and their biggest lead of the game. It's 9. Spalding looking to work his way inside. And we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like it's going to be an offensive foul on the play.
Yeah, strong move. The way things were going, you almost thought that was going to be an N1, but the referees did get him for the extra step there on the way to the rim.
So the Cougars turn the ball over for only the 3rd time here tonight. And now it's Savage with the basketball. Savage over to Flag. Now it's Destine. Destine working his way inside. His floater in the lane is up no good. He's able to grab his own rebound, but that second attempt not even close. And now the Dolphins, 2 of 19, 2 of 20 make that from the field.
Yeah, that's a rough percentage. One of those 2 were 3-pointers, but a rough go from the Dolphins as we get a turnover here on an illegal screen.
Boy, that was a tough call out on the floor that time on Walters. Walters did move a little bit, but I'm not sure he made much contact with the Dolphins. But the Dolphins really need to get their offense together here, and they're going to take a timeout, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout. But, you know, this team is struggling, Arthur. They've been struggling the last couple of games, and, you know, you start out slowly, and then you need to find a way to still fight your way back.
Yeah, so Mike, you mentioned the Dolphins shooting 2 for 20 and 0 for their last 13, so they just cannot find the shot of late here. You know, defensively, the Cougars are getting after on the perimeter, and when the Dolphins do break that, you've got the 6'6" Japhett Thomas down low just causing a lot of problems and altering shots. So whether it's inside or out, the Dolphins just can't get anything to go early in this first half.
Yeah, and, you know, the Dolphin team was playing with so much confidence, but you know, now so many players struggling. And, you know, once again, Arthur, the Dolphins can't get themselves in an offensive rhythm, and it's tough enough to do it with all your players out on the floor. But both Brocic and Taylor forced to the bench with 2 personals here in the early going.
Yeah, we'll see if Flag will look to take over here, and that's a nice deuce for him to get things going.
Yeah, he really needed that one as he had missed his first 3 shots, his first basket of the game, and the Dolphins break that 0 for 13 run and make it a 17-10 game. Worked inside, that shot's up no good, and Rossiter able to grab the rebound, and now it's Latunji. Latunji looking to work his way inside, one-on-one. That shot is no good, but once again, a nice defensive job by the Cougars to alter Latunji's shot.
The refs let them play here.
Spalding feeding the ball off inside, and the layup by Weeks that's Spalding. It's up and in, so 19-10, Cougars match their biggest lead. Now Latunji goes up and can't complete the jam.
Yeah, so just can't buy a bucket here for the Dolphins, even on the dunk from Latunji, who's really shown his affinity for those this season.
And the Dolphins really struggling here, down by 9 in the early going, and find themselves just shooting 3 of 23 from the field. And then the Cougars break the Dolphin interior defense and feed it into Thomas for a wide open layup. And the Dolphins struggles offensively and defensively continue. And now Flagg is going to pick up an offensive foul. That's going to be his second turnover of the game here. And, you know, look at it, the points in the paint. Once again, 10-4 in favor of Medgar Evers. Points over for turnovers, 10-5 in favor of Medgar Evers. Dolphins struggling in every area, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor. So let's step aside, take a break. 8:19 remaining. Dolphins trail by a score of 21-10. We'll be right back.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back with 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first half. And, you know, Arthur, you always try to look for a silver lining. It's tough to find one in the Dolphins' play here through the first 11 minutes.
Yeah, a rough start for the Dolphins, and previously that dribble drive and kick by Spalding for the Cougars, just showing how important that perimeter defense is for the Dolphins. They don't have that big body down low to clean up the mess if the guards are penetrated. So the Dolphins got to be a little bit sharper in keeping the ball on the perimeter.
Dolphins not doing a good job taking care of the basketball. They've already turned it over 9 times here through the first 12 minutes of this first half. So ball knocked out of bounds. Cougars will inbound now with 22 on the shot clock. And then Bracic back into the game for the Dolphins along with Christian Taylor. So let's see how they can play now with 2 personals as Rossiter puts up the three-pointer. That's no good. And the rebound grab by the Cougars.
Yeah, but a little spark out of that timeout. I'm sure Coach Tibbs had some harsh words for the Dolphins. Then they're coming out with a little bit of fire here.
So Swaby with the basketball. Swaby crossover dribble. Swaby the pull-up jumper is good.
Yeah, that's a great move from the Cougars' leading scorer, showing why he averages 21 points per game.
Yeah, and the Cougars really doing a nice job here as they open up the lead now to 23-10. Rossiter comes back. He has 7 of the 12 Dolphin points.
Yeah, and with Thomas out, the Dolphins taking advantage, going down low, getting an easy 2.
So Taylor they break that Cougar run and putting up that long jumper that time and missing it is Swaby. And Rossiter there to grab the rebound. He feeds it to Savage. Over to Bracic. His open 3 is way off. And the rebound grabbed by the Cougars, but they turn it over. Now Taylor's short jumper is good. So Christian Taylor gets on the scoreboard for the Dolphins and brings them to within 9.
Yeah, great play there by Taylor, who's usually such a bright spot for this offense. So that being his first points of the night is really emblematic of the Dolphins' evening so far.
But you see Rossiter with that layup on the replay there, and now it's Weeks with the basketball. Weeks drives his way inside and lays it up and in. So beautiful move that time by the 5'11 freshman, Dimitri Weeks. 25-14 to score. Rossiter knocked to the floor. Now Destine puts up the three-pointer. That's no good. Rigo continues his struggles from the floor. He's now 0 of 3, and the Cougars control the rebound. Cougars by 11 with the basketball now is that Spalding. Spalding driving his way inside and lays it up and in. So Spalding able to take the ball right into the paint and lay it up and in.
Yeah, and as you saw, both teams struggling from downtown. Medgar Evers yet to hit from downtown. The Dolphins 1 of 6.
So the Dolphins went on a 4 run of their own. Cougars respond with a 4 run and lead by 13 once again. Brocic now feeds it over to Taylor. His layup is up, no good, but he'll draw the foul.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are going to need that to get to the rim and force Medgar's defense to collapse. They don't want to be settling for jumpers right now. I mean, obviously at 5 for 28, they are definitely not in the rhythm shooting-wise. So getting to the rim, get some points on the board, see that ball go through the hoop a few times, then things maybe will open up for them a little bit later. But right now it's just about getting to the rim. As you see, Taylor struggling, 2 points, 1 for 5 from the field as he gets the first one to go.
Dolphins shooting 45% from the field as a team this year, struggling here today. As Taylor hits the first, he has the last 3 for the Dolphins, and that cuts the Cougar lead down to 12. Second free throw for Taylor is up, no good, so he splits the pair. Dolphins now 4 of 6 from the line. Look at the shooting up on your scoreboard. Numbers not pretty if you're a CSI Dolphin fan. Spalding with the basketball. Spalding, a nice pass looking inside, but a nice defensive play by the Dolphins as they come away with the turnover. Now it's Savage with the basketball. Savage working the ball up over to Taylor. Now it comes around to Brocic. Now Flagg puts up the open 3, and that's up and no good. Big miss by the Dolphins, and now Swaby taking it coast to coast. He misses the layup. Cougars able to grab the rebound, but the pass is stolen away. And now it's Taylor and Flagg 2-on-1. They feed it inside to Flagg. He can't control it. A nice defensive play by Swaby coming all the way back.
Yeah, they very alert to the danger there, getting back right away after it was Thomas down low with a good rebound, but couldn't quite dish it out to his teammate.
So Flagg will inbound the basketball. Dolphins now 5 of 29 from the field, and they'll inbound once again with 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
So 5 minutes left to play here. The Dolphins have not led since they were up 3-1 with 18:56 left to play in the first.
Rossiter with the basketball, hands the ball off to Flagg. Flagg looking to spit his way inside. His layup is up, no good. As Flagg struggles from the field continue. He's now just 1 of 6.
Yeah, but again, a good drive, just couldn't get the roll, and that seems the way things are going right now for the Dolphins.
Yeah, just one of those nights and not able to get the shots to fall here through the first 15 minutes as that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. It'll remain Cougar basketball with 13 to shoot. Cuniac upgate. Lehman now leading Baruch by 6 in the first half, 26-20.
That's a matchup of Lehman, the number 1 spot right now, and Baruch third in the Cuniac standings.
As that ball is stolen by Taylor, and he lays it up and in. So Taylor's starting to heat up a little bit offensively for the Dolphins.
Yeah, someone's got to step up because as a team, it's just not working. So someone's got to find a spark here and get everybody else going, and Taylor looking to do just that.
Yeah, Taylor with the last 5 Dolphin points to cut the Cougar deficit down to 10. 4:09 remaining here in this first half. Spalding with the basketball, looking to work against Flagg. Spalding feeding the ball out over now to Thomas. They feed the ball back. The long 3-pointer by Swaby is up, no good. Rossiter grabs the rebound, and now it's Flagg with the basketball. Cougars do a good job getting back. Now Flagg, a bounce pass over to Taylor. Now Savage. Savage cutting across the lane. Now they feed it out over to Brocic. Brocic passes knocked back to Rossiter. Rossiter feeds it inside to Savage, but he misses the layup and steps out of bounds. So Savage able to get inside, can't complete the layup, and it'll be Cougar basketball.
Yeah, the 5'10 Savage listed as the shortest player on the Dolphins, doing some good work down low, nearly grabbing the rebound, but couldn't get it to go.
You have an opportunity to see the Dolphins knock that ball away defensively, and now we'll reset. Cougars with the basketball. 3:33 remaining here in the first half. Taylor will go to the bench with his 2 personals. And the Cougars now with the basketball. Swaby, a bounce pass inside, a stumble to the floor. That was a tough call that time. As Thomas there was definitely contact, but no foul called until he fell. And now that foul is going to be on Rossiter. So Rossiter picks up his second, 8th team foul on the Dolphins. So now it'll be Thomas to the line for 1-1.
Yeah, it was hard-nosed defense by Rossiter, but the ref not giving him the benefit of the doubt on the contact there.
As you have an opportunity to see that replay, and that's going to go out of bounds, so it'll be Dolphin basketball now. With an opportunity here, Arthur, they've been down by as many as 13. They've cut it down to 10 with the basketball. Big 3.5 minutes left here in the first half.
Yeah, a lot of time left here. The Dolphins starting to show signs of life, starting to show some offensive spark. So if they can keep that up over the next 3 minutes, get into this half with a nice maybe 5-point deficit, things will be looking up.
As Savage gets the ball back up over to Latunji. Now it's Flag, but Flag's pass is knocked and stolen away once again.
Yeah, forcing it in there. When things are tough, you tend to try to force things, and that pass just wasn't there.
11 turnovers now for the Dolphins as the turnovers have hurt them here. Cougars with the basketball now. That jumper taken by Sutton is up no good, and the Dolphins control the rebound. And Dolphins doing a better job defensively on the Cougars here, Arthur.
Yeah, the Cougars forced to some tough outside shots, a lot of deflections on that end of the floor. So, as we said, the spark is coming back after that timeout midway through the half. Coach Tibbs listened to his team a bit. They came out a little bit more forced, but still offensively they're just struggling to get the ball to go in the hoop.
Flag now trying to fight his way inside. That shot is knocked away once again, and then Flag commits the personal foul. He's having a real tough first half, and he's going to pick up his second personal for the Dolphins.
And that was Thomas again with the block, which I believe will be his second block of the game. So Thomas really impacting the game quite a bit on both ends, as we've seen this entire first half.
Yeah, so Stephen Flag will go to the bench, and, you know, the way the Dolphins have been struggling to score, they need Flag to give them points, and he's just really had a tough first half here tonight, Arthur.
Yeah, but when he gets going, he could be a little streaky, so still a lot of time left. If he can find the rhythm, still some time to make up for his early woes.
As Swaby hits the front end of a 1-and-1, he now has 3. Cougars lead by 11, and they'll have one more free throw upcoming.
So balanced scoring from Medgar. Nobody yet in double digits. Same can be said of the Dolphins. So
it's a 12-point lead now for the Cougars, as the Dolphins bring the ball across the midcourt line as it's Destim. Destim's pass is going to be knocked away, and it'll remain Dolphin basketball. And cross-court pass that time, Dolphins fortunate to maintain possession.
Yeah, for sure. Almost a little fight here on the sideline, but it does go out and stays here, so the Dolphins with an opportunity to cut into this 12-point deficit.
Destim with the basketball. Destim, shot is up no good, and Rigo really struggling offensively for the Dolphins. He's now 0 for 4.
Yeah, it seems like the same story across the board for this Dolphins offense, but the defense has been shaping up lately. Let's see if they can keep that up.
As getting the ball inside for the open layup is Thomas, and 3 Dolphins jumped over the top of him, but nobody really defended, and Thomas able to get the easy layup.
Yeah, that's the height advantage. You don't really have the luxury of staying on your feet when you're outsized down low like that.
And Adeola Latunji, who's really also struggled, as you see the points in the paint there. Medgar Evers doubling up the Dolphins 16-8, and Latunji now 0 of 7 from the field, Arthur.
Yeah, 0 of 7 from your leading scorer. No wonder the Dolphins find themselves trailing here in the first.
Yeah, and Latunji had a series of consecutive 20-point games, but the last couple of games have been a different story, and he's really struggling offensively here tonight as Dolphins miss another shot. They're now 6 of 36 from the field. That's under 17%, as the Cougars have the basketball in their biggest lead of the game. It's 14.
Still a big minute here for the Dolphins to impose themselves on this game before halftime.
As it's Bonilla bringing the ball inside. Now Swaby, still 8 seconds to shoot for the Cougars. Swaby pulls up. The long three-pointer is good, and it's been that kind of first half for the Dolphins as they now fall behind by 17. And, you know, it's been a 17-point lead by the Cougars that they've well earned.
Yeah, well earned. That was a tough shot on the 3 down there by the Cougars. But overall, you got to say that they're good value for this 17-34 lead. The only place where the Dolphins really have an edge is in rebounding, 25-21. But if they're getting all these rebounds and missing their shots, it really doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, it really has done them no good at all. They have 12 offensive rebounds in this game, but they're not able to convert those offensive rebounds into points. So Destine will go to the line here for the Dolphins, looking for his first points of the afternoon as the Dolphins look to stop the bleeding here, and Destine hits the first to cut the lead down to 16. Dolphins got off to a fast start in conference play after struggling in their early non-conference play. Really looked good, up their record to 9-1, but since then, this team has struggled really in every area, Arthur.
Yeah, it's been a tough few games, especially losing at home. And again, another chance here to defend the tank and coming up short thus far, but still a lot of game left to play.
So it's Sutton with the basketball. The Cougars with a 15-point lead. They've shot over 51% here in the first half. Sutton with the basketball, 6 seconds to shoot. Now Bonilla getting inside the lane, and his floater is up and in. 17-point lead once again for the Cougars. Let's see if the Dolphins can hold for the last shot here with 15 seconds remaining here in the first half. Destine with the basketball. 6 seconds to shoot. We go over to Savage. Savage's three-pointer is up, no good. And that's going to do it. One half in the books, and Arthur, the Dolphins just can't get themselves on track offensively, turning the ball over and struggling to shoot, and they found themselves really struggling here, down by 17.
Yeah, 16%, just 6 of 37 from the field. Complete opposite of that second half against Medgar, where the Dolphins went on a big run to end up winning by 30. They shot 63% that night. Polar opposite today at 16, and the score shows it.
So we're at halftime here. The Dolphins trail 36-19. We'll step aside. We'll be off the air for a few minutes, take a break, and then we'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half. The Dolphins trailing 36-19. You're watching men's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
We're back here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins find themselves trailing in this game by a score of 36-19. And, you know, Arthur, you look at the numbers here at the half, and they're not really pretty. And, you know, this has kind of been a slide that the Dolphins have been on for their last 3 games. And, you know, in their last win, they scored 84 points against Medgar, picked up just 71 in the loss against Baruch. Went down and scoring even more in the game against York, scoring only 67 points. And here today, just 19 at the half as you look at the halftime statistics.
Yeah, so if you step back from the terrible shooting, the numbers are actually fairly even. But the Dolphins just can't buy a bucket, 6 for 37 from the field, whether it's an open look, a layup, even a missed dunk from Adeola Latunji. The offensive end, things are just not working out for the Dolphins. And the Cougars, meanwhile, shooting above 50%, so they're really having their way. And not that the Dolphins are playing terrible defense. You got to say they are hitting some really tough shots, Mike, and making the Dolphins pay even when they are playing good defense.
Yeah, you know, the Cougars have come out, and, you know, we knew coming into the game that they had offensive capabilities. And, you know, they're shooting 53% from the field, and a lot of that has been from the fact that they've been able to get the ball inside, outscoring the Dolphins in points in the paint, 16-8. And, you know, this CSI Dolphin team, Arthur, not built on turning the ball over 11 times in the half.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. I mean, turnovers, 11 for the Dolphins, 8 for Medgar Evers. But for me, what the story of the first half, besides the shooting, has been the interior play led for the Cougars, led by Jafet Thomas. If you look at the points in the paint, Medgar Evers with a 16-8 lead, and Jafet has 9 points. I would venture to guess that probably the bulk of those are in the paint. And on the other end, when the Dolphins are on offense and they are able to break down the Cougars' perimeter D, Thomas has been in there to really, at 6'6", to really alter shots and really change things at the rim. Whereas on the Dolphins' end, when that perimeter is broken and there's dribble penetration, the guys have to step up, try to get a body in the way, and that's leading to a lot of uncontested layups down low. And
if we have a update in the QDAC Conference, York continuing their strong play. They lead Hunter 60-56 in the second half. And, you know, Arthur, you look at this shooting for the Dolphins, and you see that Rossiter and Taylor between them are 5 of 12 from the field. The remainder of this Dolphins starting lineup, 1 of 25, Arthur, from the floor.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. We've only got I think Flagg is the only other Dolphin to even record a field goal. So Taylor, Rossiter, and Flagg, the only Dolphins to be on the board in terms of field goals. So really just a tough day all around. But 20 minutes left to change that. And as you see here, Lehman, the top-seeded Lehman College right now, is ahead 37-30 against Baruch, who's currently in third. So a Baruch loss here would actually help the Dolphins maybe in terms of that getting that bye, because you got to think if the Dolphins fall to 9-4, Lehman's 11-1, probably a little bit out of reach for the first place spot.
They are out of reach, and the CSI Dolphins. You're right, Arthur. At this point, might be hoping for a Lehman victory. The way this game is going, but they have 20 minutes remaining, Arthur, and you know you got to think the Dolphins could come out and do better than 6 of 37. From the field in the second half. But if they're going to get back in the game, they're going to need their other players besides Rossiter and Taylor to play much better offensively.
Yeah, for sure. And there was that few-minute period after Coach Tibbs' timeout where the Dolphins came out firing with a lot of energy and did cut the deficit down before it ballooned up again. So if they can find that kind of energy again, getting to the rim, getting stops, we can definitely see a comeback. We've seen the Lady Dolphins against Brooklyn make a much bigger comeback than this. So 17 points, by no means insurmountable with 20 minutes to play. The Dolphins still in this one.
And if the Dolphins are going to get back in this game, they're going to need improved play out of Adeola Latunji. We're going to step aside and take a break here and get you ready for the start of the second half. Dolphins trailing by 17. We'll step aside and be right back.
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
We're back, and we're getting close to the start of the second half. And, you know, after the Dolphins just 3-3 in conference play here at the Tank, in danger of dropping their fourth home game here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island, including 3 games in a row. And boy, oh boy, on January 22nd, it sure felt different when the Dolphins won, kept their winning streak going, up their record to 4 games over 500, and were 9-1 in conference play.
Yeah, and they could have easily been 10-0, to be honest. That Lehman game, they led by 2 with about 5 seconds left when Lehman tied the game at the buzzer, sent it to overtime and get the win. So from pretty high heights to a couple losses in a row. But now's the time to show a little bit of pride in your home court. Step out in the second half with some aggression and let the Cougars know that this is still a game they're going to have to fight to close out.
So we got 20 minutes remaining here in the second half. It's the Cougars will have the basketball, and Padilla brings the ball up across the midcourt line. Dolphins find themselves down by their biggest deficit of the game at 17 as the Cougars feed the ball into Sutton. Dolphins coming out swarming defensively, and we're going to have a foul 15 seconds into the start of the second half.
Yeah, you took the word out of my mouth. Swarming is definitely the word for that defensive sequence. So Dolphins putting a lot of pressure on there. Whistle for the foul, but definitely putting the Cougars under pressure early on here.
So Latunji will pick up his second personal, and Sutton appears to be a little shaken up on the play. He's going to go to the bench, and Darryl Spalding is going to check into the game here for the Cougars.
Yeah, so Sutton, the second leading scorer for the Cougars, that could be a big blow if he cannot return.
As the Cougars lob the ball into Thomas, the Dolphins do a nice job double teaming, and now Badia will set up with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Badia, cross-court pass over to Spalding. Spalding feeds it back up over to Badia. He stops and pops. That's no good, but the offensive rebound grabbed by Spalding. Spalding feeding the ball inside. It's going to be knocked away by Bracic and out of bounds, and it will be Dolphin basketball off the turnover.
Yeah, break for the Dolphins there as that aggressive defense, almost a little bit too aggressive, leaving that back door open, but down low the Cougars couldn't handle, and Dolphins have a chance to get on the board first here in the second half.
Taylor, one of 3 Dolphins with a basket in that first half, feeds the ball up over to Savage. Inside to Latunji, who lays it up and in.
All right, cut it to 15. As this thing gets closer to single digits, you're going to hear this crowd get into it more and more.
First basket there for Latunji. Let's see if the Dolphins can start off with another defensive stop.
More double teams.
With the basketball. It's going to be knocked away by Taylor and out of bounds. So it will be Cougar basketball with 16 seconds to shoot. And Justin Sutton right back into the game for the Cougars.
Yeah, so heavy pressure. You have to watch out if the Cougars do break the pressure. That next pass has been open. So pressure's got to be effective here and not let him get out of the trap.
Sutton with the basketball now. as the Dolphins look to double team, and we're going to have a whistle and another turnover. Good defense here by the Dolphins to start the second half, forcing 2 Cougar turnovers.
Yeah, really good energy from the Dolphins off the bench. Everyone up for that forced turnover at midcourt. And slowly but surely, the Dolphins are looking to cut into this 15-point lead.
Dolphins down by 15 here, 90 seconds in to the start of the second half. Taylor gets the ball back out over to Rossiter, 15 to shoot for the Dolphins. Savage inside to Rossiter. His shot is no good. He's able to grab the rebound and draw the foul. So Rossiter determined on that play, lost the handle on the first opportunity, but went up to the basket and drew the foul.
Yeah, strong move there by Rossiter, and that was the Dolphins' 13th offensive rebound. This time they rewarded with a trip to the line. Let's see if Rossiter can cash in.
And Swaby picks up his 3rd personal, so that could be a big foul against Maurice. As Rossiter hits the first, he'll have 1 more upcoming. Dolphins doing a good job from the free throw line so far here tonight, 7 of 9.
So that's Swaby with 3 fouls, their leading scorer. Sutton, the second leading scorer, just checked out with an injury, but he's back in, bringing the ball up right now.
So Rossiter hits both free throws, and the Dolphins try to cut into that Cougar lead. Bonilla with the basketball, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be that's going to be a foul on Taylor. That'll be his 3rd and the team's 2nd. Not much of a foul on that one against Taylor for his 3rd.
Yeah, tough call, but all this pressure, you're going to see a lot of whistles. Kind of comes with the territory.
Bonilla with the basketball. He hands the ball off to Swaby. Swaby looking to work against Taylor now. 8 seconds to shoot for the Cougars. Swaby. Tough fadeaway jumper is good. Beautiful shot that time by Swaby.
Yeah, he's gone to that move a few times now with the step in and then fade away.
And a nice move and a 3-pointer by the Dolphins, as that time it's Bracic, and they're going to need that outside shooting, Arthur.
Yeah, for sure. Only the one 3-pointer in the first half. Bracic on the board here early in the second. He'll need to keep that going.
So Bracic gets his first basket of the game, and the Dolphins edge to within 12. Sutton with the basketball. Sutton looking to feed the ball now up over to Thomas. Now they swing it around to Spalding. Spalding, a beautiful move to work his way inside, and they feed it to Thomas, who lays it up and in. Good play that time by the Cougars.
Yeah, after a few turnovers, that time the Cougars remaining composed, able to work their way around the pressure.
As Bracic comes back with 6 points on 2 back-to-back 3-pointers to make it a 11-point game. Spalding with the basketball, and boy, oh boy, 3 team fouls against the Dolphins, Arthur. I thought all 3 of them were very questionable calls.
Yeah, they could have gone either way. Fortunately, it's only the first foul there for Savage, but as the Dolphins continue to put this pressure on, you don't want to see the officials bailing out the Cougars.
3 team fouls called against the Dolphins in 3 minutes of play here in the second half, as it's Spalding with the basketball. Spalding hands the ball off to Swaby. Swaby working his way inside. They feed it inside to Thomas, and this time Thomas is hammered on the play, and the Dolphins already with 4 team fouls here in the second half.
Yeah, after Bracic stands strong there on the perimeter one-on-one, Savage gets beat off the dribble, and the result is a pair of free throws here for Thomas.
So the Dolphins already in foul trouble here in the second half with 4 team fouls. Bracic and Taylor both have 3. Latunji and Rossiter both have 2 out on the floor for the Dolphins, as that first free throw by Thomas is no good.
Yeah, that was a high arcing free throw, way up there off the rim.
1 more upcoming here. As the Cougars look to expand their lead to 12, and that free throw was up no good, and Rossiter there to grab the rebound. Now it's Savage. Savage working it out over to Rossiter, who banks it up and in. Rossiter, the first Dolphin to double digits. He has 11, and the Dolphins have cut the lead inside of double digits.
Yeah, strong move there as the Cougars asleep on the break.
Sutton now gets the bounce pass out over to Swaby. Swaby's floater in the lane is up no good. Big rebound by Thomas. His putback is up no good. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll remain Cougar basketball. So That time the Cougars can't buy the basket, but are able to control the offensive glass. We're going to have a full timeout here. We'll step aside, take a break. 16:05 remaining here in the second half. Cougars 40, Dolphins 31. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
We're back here at the Tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins have found themselves down by as many as 17 in this one, but the Dolphins off to a 12-4 start here in the second half.
Yeah, strong second half start. A lot of energy on the floor and on the bench carrying over onto the floor. And as we get into a single-digit lead here, the fans are getting into it, and we know we're going to have an interesting end to this 16 minutes here.
So Taylor and Bracic both come back out on the floor, Arthur, both with 3 fouls, as we look at the second half score, and York pulling ahead of Hunter. And, we saw York on Saturday. They looked great against the Dolphins, and they continue their strong play against Hunter here tonight.
Yeah, and that drops Hunter from 6-5 down to 6-6 in 4th place in the CUNYAC standings.
As York continues to move up and continues to play well, and we covered them on Saturday, and they have a very good team. So the Dolphins with the basketball now, trying to cut the lead down from 9. Taylor, long cross-court pass to Savage. He puts up the three-pointer. It's up no good, but Bracic is there to grab the rebound. Now it's Rossiter. Rossiter in the corner. The baseline jumper by Taylor is good. He now has 7, and the Dolphins cut the lead of the Cougars down to 7.
Yeah, and that whole possession, not a single Dolphin on the bench in their seat. They are up for this one.
Dolphins now on a run. It's a 7-point game as it's Bonilla with the basketball, guarded by Taylor. He gets the ball out over to Spalding. Spalding hands the ball off to Sutton. 10 seconds to shoot as Latunji comes out to guard him. Sutton with the basketball. Sutton, tough baseline jumper is good. Big shot there by the 6'2 junior.
Yeah, he got to his spot and let it fly. Nice move.
42-33. Cougars up their lead back up to 9 as Taylor walks the ball across the midcourt line. Now it's Savage getting the ball back up over to Taylor. Dolphins getting into their offense now with 15 to shoot. Savage feeding it inside to Latunji. A tough pass, and it goes out of bounds, so the Dolphins can't convert there, and the Cougars will regain possession of the basketball. As Rigo Destim will check into the game, and he'll replace Edvin Bracic.
Yeah, Savage to Latunji, we've seen that connection for the alley-oop several times this year. That time would have been the ultimate highlight, but it wasn't to be on the one-handed slam for Latunji.
So now it's the Cougars with the basketball as they're able to break the press. Swaby feeding it inside to Thomas, who lays it up and in. And once Swaby broke the press.
Yeah, that's the risk you run when you pressure like the Dolphins have been doing. They've been able to force some turnovers that time. The Cougars stay composed, break it, and get the open look.
Savage, the open three-pointer. That's no good. It'll be off the shot clock. Ray is yet to hit a shot today. He's 0 for 5, including 0 for 4 from the three-point line. And the Dolphins, who had just closed to within 7, now find themselves down by 11, and the Cougars with the basketball.
Yeah, but still a strong opening 6 minutes to this half. So a lot to build on here for the Dolphins.
Sutton with the basketball. Sutton working the ball up over in the corner. Now it's Bonilla. Bonilla backing out, and the Cougars doing a nice job running in their offense here in the second half. Bonilla's pass inside. It's going to be knocked away by Taylor, out of bounds. It'll remain Cougar basketball with just 3 to shoot.
Yeah, Taylor tasked with defending the 6'6 Thomas there. Does a good job fronting him and getting up to deny the entry pass.
Dolphins scored the first basket of the game. They haven't led since. It's been Cougars by as many as 17. They now lead by 11 as that shot is going to be off the backboard. So it'll be a shot clock violation for the Cougars.
Yeah, so it's emblematic of the Dolphins' defense, giving up just 8 points almost 7 minutes into this second half.
The Cougars turned the ball over just 8 times in the first half. They've turned it over 3 times here in the second half. So the Dolphins with the basketball, trailing by 11. Desteem cross-court pass over to Taylor. Now it's Savage. Savage picks up the dribble. Now Taylor able to work the ball inside, and his floater in the lane is good. So Taylor lays it up and in, and head coach T.J. Tibbs is going to take a timeout. It'll be a full timeout. We're going to step aside, take a break. 13-12 remaining here in the second half. Cougars 44, Dolphins 35. You're watching men's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back with 13-12 remaining here in this second half. The Dolphins have trailed by as many as 17, have cut it down to 7, Arthur, now find themselves down by 9.
Yeah, a strong 16-8 start to this second half for the Dolphins. We've seen a lot of energy from the bench carrying over onto the court, a lot of pressure. A few times the Cougars have been able to break that pressure and get some easy looks, but at the same time there's been a lot of turnovers forced by the Dolphins, giving them those 16 points. As we see a CUNYAC update, Lehman, again, the CUNYAC leaders are up in the second half against third place Baruch.
Yeah, and if Lehman is able to defeat Baruch and the Dolphins can't come back here against the Cougars, Arthur, the Lightning will find themselves ahead by 3 with just 3 games remaining. So the Cougars with the basketball now inside of 13 minutes remaining. Is that Sutton. Sutton able to get the ball inside now as Kamara comes back into the game. He went to the bench early with 2 personals, but able to get inside the paint and lay it up and in to open the lead back to 11.
Yeah, we haven't heard much from Kamara. Only a second field goal of the game, but a nice look there from Thomas inside.
Dolphins with the basketball. Taylor fighting his way inside. That shot is up, no good. The good interior defense by the Cougars as they come away with the basketball. You see the points in the paint, 22 for the Cougars, 14 for the Dolphins. Sutton with the basketball. Bounce pass goes up over to Thomas, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play, and that'll be on the Dolphins as they now pick up their 15th foul as Rossiter picks up his 3rd, and Dolphins starting to accumulate fouls. They're getting into a bonus foul shot situation, but also their best players have 3 fouls apiece. As we're going to have a whistle and a traveling violation called on the Cougars.
So Kamara in a similar spot to the last possession. Previously he was able to get the lay-in. This time, whistle for the foul.
So the Dolphins have not turned the ball over here in the second half, and they've edged to within 11. Latunji, open jumper is up, no good. Latunji now 1 of 10 from the field here tonight. Sutton with the basketball. The Cougars with an 11-point lead, and looks like they survived that initial rush by the Dolphins, Arthur, kind of stabilized here in the second half.
Yeah, back to double digits, but still, Dolphins certainly within striking distance, and we see Brocic will be checking in. He's been hot in the second half.
Sutton with the basketball. Sutton tried to pass it inside. It's stolen away, and here comes Latunji. Latunji ahead of the field, and that's going to be a flagrant foul. That's a terrible job done by the Cougars that time, and I'm surprised Jafet Thomas, who's played so well all game long, and You really just can't pull a player down like that. That was a very dangerous play, and it's going to cost the Cougars because it's going to give the Dolphins an opportunity to shoot a couple of free throws and get back a possession. And it's hard to argue that call, Arthur.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a look at it again. But Latunji was on his own there out in front, and Thomas with the tear down.
As we have an opportunity, you see the turnover there as Roston is able to grab the basketball and see the play come ahead to Latunji. And Latunji breaks ahead of the field, and, it's okay to foul him, and actually didn't look as bad on the replay in slow motion as it did live.
Yeah, but clearly no play on the ball at all there. He just grabbed him with two hands on either shoulder and tore Latunji down. So the right call by the referees, and you like Savage sticking up for his teammate there under the basket. But the Cougars know he doesn't appreciate the hard foul.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that was a flagrant foul called. And so Thomas picks up the foul. It enables Latunji to hit 2 free throws. He has 5 of his 7 points from the line. You see the free throw shooting for the Dolphins helping to keep them in the game here as they trail by 9 with the basketball. So another opportunity for the Dolphins to cut into this Cougar lead.
Yeah, got to stay calm.
Rossiter puts up the open 3. That's no good. Big offensive rebound by the Dolphins. Taylor working it up over to Rossiter. Now back up over to Desteem. We go back up over to Rossiter. Another open 3-pointer is good. And the Dolphins have closed the lead down to 6. And we're going to have a whistle and a timeout taken by the Dolphins. Big shot there by Rossiter. He now has 14 to make it a 6-point game.
Yeah, and Coach Tibbs leading the charge on the sideline there, coming out to greet his team on the timeout after that big bucket. I was just going to say, it's an important time to stay calm. It's easy to see red after that flagrant foul and get a little bit out of control and try to do too much. Dolphins kept their composure, found Rossiter for the open 3, and we've got a 6-point ball game, Mike.
Yeah, and the thing that you really got to like is the Dolphins missed their first shot, were able to grab the offensive rebound. Rossiter went up with confidence. He's now 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He has 14 points and 8 rebounds for the Dolphins, and 6 points is as close as the Dolphins have been since the first half, Arthur.
Yeah, they're back in it 21-10 over these first 9 minutes, so their defense has stayed strong, keeping the Cougars to just about 1 point per minute, which they'll certainly take. And now, the last time they got it to 7, Medgar Evers kind of steadied things down and got it back to 13 fairly quickly. So now that we're down to 6, let's see how they respond, if they can keep it within single digits here.
And some of the big numbers here in the second half, the Cougars 5 turnovers, none for the Dolphins here in the second half, as you see athletic director Charles Gomes starting to feel a little bit better about the way the Dolphins are playing here in the second half.
Yeah, got to be happy with the second half performance. First half, shooting woes are now in the back mirror, in the rearview mirror. We've got 11 minutes and 15 seconds of basketball to overcome a 6-point lead. Not a bad position to be in at home at the Tank for the Dolphins.
Dolphins 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 6-point game as the Dolphins come out and press. Sutton with the basketball. Sutton working the ball up in the corner. That open shot is up, no good, partially deflected, but the Cougars able to come away and grab the offensive rebound.
Taylor with the block there.
Long jumper is up, no good, but Thomas able to grab the rebound. 2 big offensive rebounds by the Cougars as that third shot is up, no good. That time Kamara a little out of control, and the Dolphins with the basketball. Taylor taking it hard to the basket. He lays it up and in. He now has 11, and the lead is now 4.
Yeah, and Coach Tibbs has lost the blazer on the sidelines. He means business over there in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Dolphins right back in it now, 46-42, as the Dolphins look to double-team Swaby, and he throws the ball away. And we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball, and the Cougars ain't fortunate to force the jump ball, but it will be Dolphin basketball now with 10:21 remaining. A lot different second half for the CSI Dolphins.
Yeah, and you have to think that there's Coach Tibbs without the suit jacket, giving a high five to Brauchich on the sideline. But that flagrant foul could have been a big turning point. Adiola got the 2 free throws from the line, the Rossiter 3, and things have really turned in the Dolphins' favor, and the crowd support has really grown since that time.
As Desteem looked to drive it to the basket, he's fortunate to maintain the handle, but Latunji can't hit the shot, and the Cougars come away with the basketball. Dolphins had an opportunity to cut the lead down to 2, but now it'll be the Cougars and Swaby with the basketball.
Here comes the double.
Swaby gets the ball inside now to Walters. Walters backing in against Rossiter. Shot blocked away beautifully. Here comes Destim. Destim back up over to Rossiter. Rossiter spinning, working it up over to Latunji. Latunji trying to fight his way inside, but loses the handle. Good defensive play by the Cougars.
Yeah, tough play down low there.
Swaby. Swaby hands the ball off to Sutton. Let's see if the Cougars can get back into what gave them the lead in the first half. Sutton.
And there is that dribble drive that we talked about that was so effective early on. This time Sutton's going to get to the line after getting into the paint.
Yeah, and teams fighting defensively, and that time it's going to be a foul on Taylor, huge foul on Taylor. That's going to be his 4th.
Yeah, that's tough with 9 minutes to play. Only 1 foul left. As you see here, the points off turnovers, the Dolphins starting to really take advantage of the defensive end there, going coast to coast, 20-10 points off turnovers. That's really keyed this comeback.
Yeah, it really has, as the Cougars have turned the ball over 6 times here in this second half, just 1 for the Dolphins. So Swaby will go to the line here to shoot 1 more.
Crowd making some noise, but he hits.
So he hits 1 of 2. They're now 4 of 9 from the free throw line, and they open the lead back up to 5. Savage gets the ball out over to Destim. Now Stephen Flagg checking back in the game, and if they can get Flagg firing, that could really help the Dolphins offensively.
Yeah, previously Brocic was hot from downtown.
Destim, a tough shot, is up, no good. We go now 0 of 5, and it'll be a jump ball. This time the possession arrow will go to the Cougars, and Latunji 1 of 11, Destim 0 of 5, Flagg 1 of 7.
Yeah, some big minutes for Destim here with Taylor and Rossiter on the bench.
And Savage also looking for his first basket as Sutton's shot is up and in, and all of a sudden the lead finds its way back up to 7.
Sutton 5 of 6 from the field for 11, a very efficient night for him.
Destim, now Brocic. Brocic out by the three-point line, back up over to Savage. Over to Flagg, his open three-pointer is up, no good. His shooting woes continue, he's now 1 of 8. Cougars with the basketball now. Sutton, as we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play as Savage picks up the foul, and that's going to send the Cougars right back to the free throw line. So Arthur, the Dolphins got as close as 4 with possession of the basketball, but now an opportunity for the Cougars to open the lead back up to 9.
Yeah, that's right. Things getting a little chippy here. Sutton going to ground after the contact in the head by Savage. So we'll see where this game goes from here with the physical play.
8:19 remaining in the game. The Cougars open their lead back up to 8, and Sutton has an opportunity to make it a 9-point lead. He misses the second, and Savage able to come away with the basketball now for the Dolphins. Savage crossover dribble. He kicks the ball in the corner to Brocic. The open 3 is up, no good. Big offensive rebound by Savage. He feeds it inside to Latunji. His shot is knocked away, but he'll draw the foul.
Yeah, so Brocic previously was 2 of 3 from the three-point line, now 2 of 4. He has only shot 3-pointers tonight. His 4 field goals have all come from beyond the arc. Couldn't get that one to go, but Latunji fighting inside to clean it up. Gets to the line for 2.
So Latunji hits the first. You see their Dolphin free throw shooting up on your screen as they're now 11 of 13. Latunji 6 of 7. Dolphins sticking around, trailing by 7. Latunji's second free throw is up and in, so Adiola hitting his free throws and making it a 6-point game as the Dolphins continue to try to fight their way back in the game, but Cougars able to break the press, and they get the ball to Jones, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, Spalding, the one-man press break there with the warp speed dribble up court.
Yeah, so the Cougars able to break the Dolphin press and open the lead back to 8. Savage with the basketball. Pressed by Spalding. Now Brocic puts up the 3. That's no good. Dolphins now 4 of 17 on the game from the three-point line. Sutton with the basketball. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Latunji, 30 feet from the basket, for a player not going to even shoot.
Yeah, and the 8th team foul, so that'll put Sutton to the line.
So Sutton will get to go to the free throw line to shoot a 1-on-1. And Arthur, I don't know a single possession you can't call that foul on if that's what your intention is to do.
Yeah, things are getting pretty physical here, so back and forth. We've seen a lot of contact. That time the ref blows the whistle, and Sutton takes advantage.
So Sutton able to go to the free throw line and hit the first to open the lead back up to 9 points for the Cougars.
One bright spot is we get to see Taylor and Rossiter check in now with the stoppage of play.
One more free throw upcoming as he hits them both, and now the Dolphins find themselves down by 10 once again. Taylor with the basketball. Gets the ball up over the flag. Now it's Rossiter. Now Savage. Savage looking for his first basket of the game, and he gets it. And it comes at a good time for the Dolphins to make it a 7-point game.
Yeah, certainly was his first bucket of the ball game for Savage.
Now it's Sutton with the basketball. Sutton gets the ball out over to Spalding. Spalding guarded there by Savage as the Cougars back the ball out now with a 7-point lead and 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Bonilla with the basketball. Bonilla looking to work against Taylor, and he has 4 fouls as Bonilla hits a tough shot going to the ground and opens the lead back up to 9.
Yeah, can't defend any better than that if you're Rob Rossiter, but Bonilla gets the contested fadeaway to fall, going down to the floor as he shoots.
Rossiter with the basketball. That was a tough shot, and the rebound is going to be grabbed by Jones. Jones hands the ball off to Sutton, and Arthur up by 9 with 6:21. Cougars getting themselves in good position, and now they lead back up to double digits as Jones gets 2 back-to-back baskets for the Cougars.
Yeah, so a big run. It was 46-42 not too long ago. Taylor, though, has something to say about that as he gets the N1.
Big basket there for the Dolphins as that breaks a 12-5 Cougar run and cuts the lead back down to 9 with 6:05 remaining. As Taylor will have an opportunity to make it a 3-point play. That foul is going to be on Hassan Jones. That'll be his 4th. As he will check out of the game, and Yafet Thomas will come back into the game. You see Taylor's line, 11 points, 3 rebounds for the Dolphins.
Yeah, he and Rossiter are the only Dolphins in double digits. Rossiter with 14.
As that time Taylor hits the free throw, Jade Spencer will check back in for the Dolphins. The Dolphins find themselves down by 8 with 6:05 remaining as we get into crunch time here at the Tank. Sutton with the basketball, brings the ball across the midcourt line. Cougars have already taken 15 seconds off the shot clock. Sutton looking to work against Spencer, drives down the lane. That floater is up, no good, and we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have another foul called on the Dolphins as that time the Cougars did a nice job running down the shot clock. Sutton couldn't hit the shot, but the Dolphins can't grab the rebound.
Yeah, that one hurts, taking the full shot clock. Dolphins got the stop but could not close it out with the rebound, and it's the Cougars with a chance to extend this lead after taking that full 30 seconds off the clock.
So Bracic will pick up his 4th. Bracic and Taylor both on the floor with 4 as that free throw is up, no good. And Taylor able to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Taylor, pull-up jumper, that's no good. Dolphins can't afford these misses as it's the Cougars now with the basketball and an 8-point lead.
Yeah, that's a shot Taylor likes. Couldn't get it to go.
Spalding driving his way past 4 Dolphin defenders. Lays it up, misses the shot, but draws the foul. And that time, a nice job by Spalding, able to take the ball to the basket. 10 team fouls for the Dolphins here as Flagg picks up his 3rd foul. He has just 2 points. And the Cougars will go back to the free throw line here to shoot 2.
Yep, so Sutton breaking through the double team there near midcourt, able to find Spalding in a good spot, and he gets to the line.
So an opportunity here for the Cougars to open their lead back up to double digits. Clock becoming a major factor now with 5:21 remaining.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see the Cougars looking to take as much clock off as possible each time down the court. Dolphins will be looking to score quick.
Cougars missing their free throws, helping to keep the Dolphins in the game as Bracic's shot is up and no good. As some contact inside, no foul called, and the Cougars have the basketball and a 9-point lead.
He might have been hoping for the foul call there. It didn't go up strong. Referees don't like that, and they didn't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Padilla getting the ball out over to Spalding as the Cougars looking to run shot clock, doing a nice job here in the later stages of this second half. Spalding, pull-up jumper is good. So the Cougars run clock, hit the shot, and lead by 11.
Yeah, good move by Spalding, taking over here the last few possessions down the offensive end.
Flag with the basketball, back up over to Rossiter. A big three-pointer by Rossiter is up, no good. Savage grabs the rebound, but dribbles it off his foot. So the Dolphins will turn the ball over, down by 11. Game slipping away from the Dolphins here, Arthur. Once again, in the later stages of the second half, Dolphins cut it down to 46-42 with the basketball, and now the Dolphins commit another foul. And once again, in the later stages of the second half, Dolphins just can't figure out a way to score. They've scored just 50 points here with just 4:29 remaining.
Yeah, and we spoke about it pregame. The previous two games here at the Tank against Baruch and against York, the Dolphins fighting from behind, scratching and clawing their way to try to get level, never able to break through. Same story here tonight thus far. After that early lead, very early lead on the first bucket, the Dolphins have been playing catch-up the entire game, made a few good runs, cut it to 4, but now Bonilla at the line, making it 12. See if the Dolphins have one more run in them for these final 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, you know, they're going to need to start shooting the basketball a little bit better. They got off to a pretty good start shooting the basketball here, but they've struggled lately, and they're still just shooting 16 of 63 on the day here tonight. Savage puts up the open three. That's going to be a miss, and we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul called on the Cougars.
Yeah, looking at those shooting numbers, the Dolphins have actually put up 15 shots more than their opponents, but the ice cold percentage, 25%, sees them down here by 13.
And that foul is going to be on Sutton. That's going to be his first, so the Dolphins will get the inbound. As going to the basket is Latunji, and he's going to commit the offensive foul, so the Dolphins are going to turn the ball over for the third time here in the second half, down by 13. And like we said before, Arthur, this game's slipping away from the Dolphins.
Yeah, that time Thomas was planted for a while. Latunji tried to go around it but couldn't quite make it, although that time he makes up for it with the steal.
Now it's Taylor. Big three-pointer is good to cut the deficit down to 10, and T.J. Tibbs is going to take a timeout for the Dolphins. So Dolphins trying to stick it to the game, find themselves down by 10 with 4:09 remaining.
Yeah, so we see that a lot from Coach Tibbs, the timeout after a made basket, trying to capitalize on that momentum and have some positive vibes going into this timeout. So down 10 with 4 minutes to play. What do you think? What's the game plan here, Mike?
Well, you know, for the Dolphins, they need a way to score points and get stops, and the Cougars have been very effective coming down, Arthur, and running 20, 25 seconds off the shot clock and either hitting their shot or being able to pick up an offensive rebound. And, you know, the Dolphins found themselves down by 4. They had possession of the basketball, but then the Cougars went on a 19-8 run to open up their lead once again, and the Dolphins find themselves down by 10 here with just 4:09 remaining. And, you know, for the CSI Dolphins, Arthur, you know, they're finding themselves in danger of losing their third consecutive conference home game. It would be their fourth conference loss to the game. This is a team that went undefeated in the regular season in CUNYAC play last year, won the CUNYAC championship, and then won 9 out of their first 10 conference games here this year.
Yeah, so it definitely was a scorching hot start for TJ Tibbs, but a little bit of a dip was to be expected. Maybe we didn't expect to lose 3 in a row here at home. But again, it's a long season. You never want to get too high. You never want to get too low. And if you can't get the regular season title, as we saw with the women's team last year, everyone remembers who won the postseason tournament anyway.
That's exactly right. As the ball is brought across the midcourt floor, and it's Sutton with the basketball, and we're going to have a whistle.
They give him the timeout here?
And it looks like they did, so we're going to have a timeout taken on the floor. And it's going to be a full timeout. Let's step aside, take a break. 4 minutes remaining here in the second half. Dolphins find themselves down by 10. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back here with 4 minutes remaining in the game, and Arthur, Dolphins find themselves in a precarious position once again, down double digits.
Yeah, there's no choice but to pressure the ball very heavily here. And of late, it's been the ball handling of Sutton and Spalding that have been thwarting the Dolphins' pressure. Let's see what happens on. Got an inadvertent buzzer here. Still going to play through it.
So the Cougars with the basketball, and now it's going to be Destine picking up the foul. And, of course, Arthur, with the Dolphins in the double bonus, the Cougars can go to the free throw line knowing they're going to get 2 shots on every possession, as you see Lehman maintaining their 9-point lead over Baruch. And, you know, what is a little bit of a break for the Dolphins as I think the Dolphins' dream of a regular season victory, regular season championship, will go by the boards unless they can come back here in the remaining 3:56. But the Dolphins now are going to be fighting for that second position, looking for that bye. And it looks like both Baruch and Staten Island, barring last-minute comebacks, Arthur, will be tied with 4 losses apiece.
Yeah, and that will snap a 6-game win streak for Baruch, who will now drop to 8-4 as the Dolphins try to get a little closer here on the offensive end.
Latunji way off with that shot as his struggles continue. 1 of 12 for Adiola here today, just 9 points, as that ball's going to get knocked out of bounds. And you know, Arthur, for Adiola, a sophomore transfer player, but his first year playing basketball. And, you know, it gets tough. It gets to really be a grind in the second half of the season especially. You start to play more games in less of a period of time. And, you know, for a lot of these young Dolphin players, really their first experience going through that.
Yeah, not only that, but the scouting report gets a little bit thicker each game you play. So Latunji was an unknown quantity in the beginning of the season. Teams starting to realize what he has to offer and are treating him with respect.
And boy, Maurice Swaby just got nailed with a terrible call as Swaby will pick up the foul. That will be his 4th. And boy, oh boy, I'm not even sure he touched the Dolphins on the play, but Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball. Down by 12 with 3:33 remaining. Arthur, they can't afford many more misses. Savage, the open three-pointer, is no good. Adiola goes up high for the rebound and lays it up and in. His second basket of the game to keep the Dolphins within 10.
Yeah, desperation time for the Dolphins as they put some all-out pressure here on the full-court press. Spalding breaks it.
Spalding with the basketball now. He gets the ball back up over to Benier, and now it's going to be Sutton as he'll look to run shot clock. Good move by Sutton as he kind of stumbled on the play and drew the foul. Tough foul call against the Dolphins as Adiola Latunji is going to foul out of the game.
Yeah, and that one felt a little bit like a bailout. He was under pressure, tried to break the press, kind of lost his balance. But nonetheless, the referee gave the whistle. And again, it's the ball handling of Sutton and Spalding, able to break that press time after time.
So it's going to be Sutton to go to the free throw line here. The Cougars lead by 10, so they already have a 4-possession lead with 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. And Dolphins started out shooting pretty well here in the second half, Arthur, but that's tailed off as well. They're now down to 12 of 31 here in the second half as Sutton hits the first.
Yeah, and it was always a big ask to come back from a 17-point deficit, but they did well to cut it to 4. But as has been the case the last 2 games, just couldn't get over the hump when things got close.
Yeah, and the Dolphins really find themselves struggling to score in the later stages of the second half, Arthur, in these last 3 losses.
That's right.
Ball comes up over to Bracic. His open three-pointer is up, no good. It comes back to Bracic. Now they get it open for the open three-pointer. That's no good. And we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have a loose ball foul called on the Cougars. So the Dolphins get a little bit of a break, and we'll have an opportunity to go to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1 and score some points with the clock stopped as Dolphins try to find a way to keep this one within distance. Just 250 remaining in the game.
Yeah, and you just saw on your screen a few moments ago the Dolphins' struggles at the Tank, just 3-3 in the CUNYAC this year versus a perfect 6-0 on the road. And with a loss today, they would drop to 3-4 at home.
Yeah, Dolphins not playing well at home in the conference this year as Bracic misses the free throw, but is able to put back the basketball and lay it up and in as Dolphins have cut it down to 9, so it's a 3-possession game. Cougars have done a nice job handling the Dolphin press here in the second half, and another foul called on the Dolphins, which is going to lead to another pair of free throws here for the Cougars.
And again, Bonija in trouble there on the far sideline, not the most confident ball handler, and again, what seemed to me like a bailout call, though it was across the court, didn't have the best view. Seemed to me like he was in trouble, and he was hoping for that foul, and he was happy to get it.
So Lehman wraps up their win against Baruch. That's a final, 76-67. As that first free throw is up and in, the Cougars with 5 free throws in the first half.
So that'll put Lehman to 12-1 now with just 3 games to play, as you see here. With the loss here, the Dolphins would drop to 9-4 and would not be able to surpass Lehman. They could potentially tie him at 12-4 if Lehman were to lose out, but that is very unlikely given their 12-1 start here.
Yeah, so a 10-point deficit here for the Dolphins, down by 4 possessions as they have the basketball with 2:31 remaining in the game, and not a good pass that time as the Dolphins turn the ball over. It's only their 4th turnover here of the second half, but it couldn't come at a less opportune time as the Cougars, who have already had 19 free throws here in this second half, will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 more.
That's right, and this time it's Sutton, who is 7 for 10 from the line. And as we see here, York running out winners over Hunter by 81-69 scoreline. That's moving them a little bit closer to playoff contention as they move to 5-8. Hunter will drop to 6-6.
And boy, that York team looked very dangerous. That's not a team you want to face in the first round if they're able to edge their way up into the conference. And York has some very dangerous players, as does this Cougar team that now lead by 13. As that shot is up, no good, and the Dolphins fought their way all the way down to 4. But they've already given 9 of those points back.
Yeah, it looks like just about putting the finishing touches on it now are the Cougars up 13, under 2 to play. It's going to take a lot of turnovers and a lot of threes for the Dolphins to have a chance here.
As we're going to have a whistle on the play, and it's going to be a timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, and the Dolphins have won 4 out of their last 5 meetings against Medgar Evers, averaging 89 points a game. But it looks like, Arthur, for the 4th consecutive game, the Dolphin scoring output continues to decrease. They scored 84 in their last win, 71 in the loss to Baruch, 67 in the loss to York, and just 57 points here with just under 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, so trending downwards. We talked about earlier on hoping that those previous 2 home losses could be a blip. So now 3 home losses in a row, definitely a little bit of cause for concern. But by no means is it, nothing is going to be decided here today. It's still only late January, and the champion won't be crowned until the end of February. So plenty of time for the Dolphins to right this ship here, even if they can't do it today in these last 2 minutes.
As the ball comes in, and that open jump shot taken by Swaby is good. So he put that shot up with 12 on the shot clock and hit it. And the Cougar lead is now up to 15 as Taylor drives down the lane and lays it up and in. Taylor has 19, but the Cougars lead by 13 as we're going to have a whistle and another foul called in the backcourt as the Cougars are going to go to the free throw line, and it's getting to the point now where these fouls aren't really going to have much of an outcome on the game. And we talked before, Arthur, about the 75 points in the CSI Dolphins.
Yeah, and clearly nowhere near that number today, and they haven't been there since their last win, 84-73 over CCNY on January 22nd. So it looks like they'll fall short of that one today. And the Cougars now with 4 scorers in double digits. Bonisia with 12, who's currently at the line. Sutton leading the way with 19. Thomas with 13. And Swaby, who scored on the previous possession, up to 11.
So the Dolphins 10-1 when they score 75, 1-9 when they don't. And they're at 59 points here with 1:34 remaining in the game as Savage hits a 3, and that's good. And that brings the Dolphins to within 12. But the Cougars here in good position to run out the clock and force the Dolphins to foul as they feed that over to Spalding. Spalding works it inside to Thomas.
And again, it's that two-man press break. Sutton and Spalding able to deal with those flying Dolphin defenders, keep their cool, and the recipient down low is Thomas with the easy deuce after the guards break down the pressure.
And that opens the lead up to 14, and that's going to probably do it here. With 1:18 remaining, Brooklyn beats CCNY, so Brooklyn gets back on the winning track, and Dolphins find themselves in real danger now, Arthur, as they now have 4 losses and need to find a win against Hunter College. And before they have that opportunity, they're going to have to go on the road and play Cabrini, and that's going to be a huge challenge for them this weekend. It's not going to count in the conference standings, but maybe an opportunity, Arthur, for the Dolphins to go on the road and play a non-conference game and try to regroup on the road away from the tank here at CSI.
Yeah, maybe a good chance to get away. We saw the Dolphins are 6-0 on the road in the conference. Maybe they can take some of that road success with them to Cabrini. But at home, you'd really like to be, 3-4. It's not really a good home record in the conference, especially when you've shown you have the ability to take care of business on the road. So that's something for the future that I'm sure Coach Tibbs will look to really build upon, as you want to be able to defend your home court and defend the tank here for CSI in front of their home fans. And we have a pretty good turnout tonight, as usual.
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, it seemed like just a little while ago as you see New Rochelle able to beat John Jay in a non-conference game. And, you look back a little while ago, Arthur, and, talking about fighting for first place and fighting for a bye. As you take a look at the updated standings, including CSI not coming away victorious in this game. And, the Dolphins find themselves just 2 games ahead of Hunter and Brooklyn. They have to play both of those teams along with first place Lehman College. And you got to say now, Arthur, not only is the first round bye in jeopardy, but they're in jeopardy of falling out of a home game in the quarterfinals if they can't get this ship righted.
Yeah, that's for sure, and especially with those games coming up against Hunter, if they were to drop that, they'd be having to go now away to Hunter as the underdog. So still a lot to play for here and a lot to correct for these Dolphins.
As this will be the final, the next 2 regular season home game, and we're going to have a foul away from the basket on the Dolphins, and with 56.4 seconds remaining and the Dolphins already finding themselves down by 4 possessions, it's getting to the point of fruitlessness with these personal fouls.
Yeah, and the free throw parade continues after just 5 trips to the line in the first half. Medgar Evers now going for their 25th and 26th free throw attempts.
The first free
second
throw
half,
by,
that is.
sorry, Arthur, that first free throw is up and in. And the Cougars open their lead back up to 13 points as now 20 points in the game for Sutton. He'll have 1 more upcoming. And the Cougars working their way back into the conversation, as has York, and both those teams very dangerous clubs, Arthur.
Yeah, plenty of depth here in this CUNY conference from top to bottom. CCNY at 1-11, maybe the outlier, but even they've managed to pick up a CUNYAC win. So really no freebies, as Coach Tibbs always lets us know. He knew today wasn't going to be such an easy one, and it proved to be. So as you can see here, if the score holds today, 4-7, 7-3 on the road, you'd like to see those home numbers a little bit more secure.
as the Dolphins able to come away with the steal, and Fabose lays it in for his first points, but Dolphins still find themselves down 10 with 41.4 seconds remaining. It's going to be a full timeout. We'll keep it right here with just 41 seconds remaining, but boy, Arthur, the Dolphins have really been struggling, and the Dolphins will have to go on the road and play Cabrini this Saturday on the road. And that's not going to be an easy task on the road against a very quality Division III team. But more important for the Dolphins is how are they going to turn things around, Arthur, in the conference?
Yeah, still time to turn it around. And, regular season championship is great. It would have been a nice feather in their cap. But the ultimate goal, as anyone would tell you, is the CUNYAC championship. And that's still well within reach. Of course, you'd love that first round bye if you can get it. But a big few games coming up here for the Dolphins. After today, they have a few days off before they have Cabrini on the road in Pennsylvania. So a few days to get back in the gym, practice, and if his team wasn't listening before, they'll certainly be listening now with their ears perked up after 3 straight conference losses, all at the tank, coming from this past Wednesday, this past Saturday, and then today. So that's 3 losses at home in 1 week. And as you see here, the upcoming schedule for the Dolphins, those 4 games closing out the CUNYAC regular season before CUNYAC postseason begins February 17th. That's a Saturday. The Dolphins will hope to be idle that day with the bye, but should they have to play as a 3 seed or worse, that will be February 17th at the higher seed, opening round of the CUNYAC playoffs.
As the Dolphins commit another personal foul in the backcourt now with 39.8 seconds remaining in the game, and that's going to send Bonilla to the line to shoot 2. Only question remaining really at this point is the final score. As Bonilla misses the first, he'll have 1 more upcoming. As Taylor and Rossiter will check back into the game for the Dolphins. 4 players on the floor for the Dolphins with 4 personals. Bracic, Taylor, Savage, and Rossiter, as Bonilla hits 1 of 2, and that makes the lead 11. It's a 4-possession game now with 35 seconds remaining in the game. Taylor drives down the lane and lays it up and in.
Quick move from Taylor, cutting it to single digits here. Gonna have to foul though, or we get a quick steal maybe.
As that ball is knocked away, but it's going to be played there by Medgar, and we're going to have another foul with 27.5 seconds remaining, and Dolphins find themselves down by 3 possessions. 27.5 seconds remaining as that foul will be on Rossiter. He will foul out of the game, as taking a long time to play the last minute here, Arthur, but the Dolphins still find themselves down by 9.
Yeah, so it was good work in the backcourt to poke the ball loose. Looked like Rossiter might have a chance of picking up the loose ball, but it falls to Julian, who's at the line here, and hits the first one. And this one clearly out of reach now as the Cougars reclaim a double-digit lead.
And for the CSI Dolphins, they will go on the road against Cabrini this Saturday. The women will be off until next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, our final regular season broadcast between the College of Staten Island and Hunter College, as the Dolphins cut the lead down to 9 as the ball is played over to Swaby. Swaby gets the ball up over to Spalding, and Dolphins continue to swarm defensively, as now it's Taylor with the basketball. He spins inside and lays it up and in with 9 seconds remaining, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play.
Yeah, Dolphins still fighting. I think the Cougars expected the Dolphin pressure to let up as they were to dribble this one out, but Dolphins going for the steal, able to get a bucket from Taylor and almost come away with it again, down 7. But nonetheless, even if that was taken away, this one is all academic now, down 7 with 7 seconds to play, and it'll be Spalding to try to add to his total from the line.
And Arthur, the Dolphins are going to have finished this game with at least 74 points, but a lot of these points came right at the end of the half in garbage time when the game needed to be decided. It was the Cougars that were able to build up their lead back to double digits after the Dolphins were able to cut it down to 4. And, the teams have been going back and forth here a little bit in the second half, but this game really not in doubt here. Is 3 seconds remaining. Fabose puts up the 3-pointer and buries it. So that's going to break that 75-point rule. But, once again, Arthur, a lot of points for the CSI Dolphins when the game already decided. And with 9/10 of a second remaining, the Cougars are going to go on and win this game by a final score of 83-77, but a game that really wasn't as close as that down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, the closest the Dolphins came was 46-42 with the ball, but they weren't able to get any closer than that. And 58 points in the second half is quite the offensive showing. When you put up 19 in the first half, you really can't expect to come out with the win.
So the Dolphins are going to lose their third consecutive game. They're going to drop to 9-4 in the conference as they lose to Medgar by a final score of 83-77. So that's going to wrap things up here from the tank at the College of Staten Island. For my broadcast partner, Arthur Kapitanakis, and our engineer extraordinaire, Dave Pizzuto, this is Mike Babruski saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us next Tuesday night, senior night, the final regular season home game of the year, as the college will take on, the College of Staten Island will take on Hunter College. The women's opening tip at 5:30, pregame at 5 o'clock. The men to follow approximately a half hour at 7:30. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you this Tuesday night for basketball action right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.